I'm John Bennett, Roll Call's White House correspondent. This week saw a continuation of basically two presidents at once as Donald Trump continues to fill out his cabinet and, of course, fire off tweets. But more on Trump in a second. President Obama gave his final counterterrorism speech. It was about what you would expect if you've been following this issue. He defended his use of armed drones, elite commandos, and alliance building using local troops. And as he's done on other issues, Obama was really laying down some markers for the president-elect, making the case, knowing that the president-elect is a cable news junkie, might have been watching from Trump Tower. So the president was really making the case. At times, it really felt like to Donald Trump to continue some of his policies. Elsewhere at the White House, they really played it cool on the continuing resolution needed to avert a government shutdown until Thursday, when I asked Obama's chief spokesman, Josh Earnest, about a specific provision that Democrats were objecting to in the Senate and threatening to hold up the bill, maybe even shut down the government. And Josh Earnest really kind of went off on a bit of a rant, not a tirade, a bit of a rant, and accused Republicans of being cynical, accused them of being a little hypocritical, accused them of not living up to their own promises. And that was interesting. That was probably the final budget battle that we're going to see between the White House and congressional Republicans, and that is one of the big themes of the last 8 years. Late next week, Obama and his family will leave for their annual Christmas holiday trip to Hawaii, which is where, of course, the president's from. They will spend some time there. And you really get the sense over at the White House that everyone is looking forward to what will be kind of their last big break. The president seems ready to go, to get off the mainland. So we'll start to see Obama kind of start to fade a little bit. You'll start to see Trump dominate the headlines, see Trump's agenda really start to drive talk about what will happen in Washington when Congress comes back and after he's sworn in. And speaking of the president-elect, he continued to fill out his cabinet, continued to have meetings with potential cabinet picks. So far, you're seeing a lot of retired generals and a lot of corporate CEOs. Kind of ironic, given that this was a campaign for the enlisted man, if you will, a campaign for the rank-and-file employee. That's something to watch. How will Trump's supporters feel about this cabinet if that trend continues? And given who he's meeting with, it looks like it will. His Vice President-elect Mike Pence gave a really important speech in Washington last week, laid out the new administration's agenda for the first 100 days. Of course, repealing Obamacare is at the top of that list. Undoing Obama executive actions could happen shortly after Trump takes the oath of office. Dealing with some regulations, undoing some of the ones that Obama put in place. And interestingly, and this will be a big fight with congressional Democrats, Pence promised to end the spending caps on defense spending. That is something that congressional Republicans were never able to do with Obama and with such a tight margin in the Senate. The Trump administration is promising to do that. And like I said earlier, with the Obama era, I think we're going to see a lot of budget fights between the Trump administration and Congress. And when I say that, I don't just mean congressional Democrats. I think we could see the White House and congressional Republicans butt heads a lot on spending matters, because Trump's agenda is a big government agenda, and that's something to definitely watch.